Okay, we're live. Hey, that's pretty good. The
Hello.
Raptors, they win their home opener, their season opener, 97-94 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We are here at the Raptors Republic Live Party. There's a lot more people over there. There's some people over there. We had prizes. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on. It was a total blast. The Raptors played classic Eastern Conference basketball, as far as I'm concerned. They hardly scored in the half court. They ran a ton in transition. They played excellent defense, locking down, a premier talent in Anthony Edwards, hanging in, with Rudy Gobert, with Karl Anthony Towns, as an undersized team relative to the Wolves, especially the starting lineup. Tough shooting nights from a bunch of guys, but you had the will of Pascal to hit shots late. You had Dennis Schroder, excellent throughout, just unbelievable. And Scottie Barnes, even though the shooting numbers aren't good throughout the game, just defense and pushing the team forward.
Yes.
It was incredible. I'm joined by, obviously, Trevon Heath. Currently, we're going to be talking to some viewers, and you can obviously hear in the background. But holy moly, we're here. That was like an absolute blast, man. As far as anything else, anything to add currently?
I think they just show the recipe of how they need to win. I think with some of the constraints they have, like the half court is going to be an uphill battle all season. We saw that tonight. And if they're able to get out in transition, they have tons of athletes that's going to apply pressure to teams. Guys like Precious, Pascal, OG, Scottie as like the conductor of that really showed up. They can put points in bunches if they play defense. And I really like the major adjustments I've kind of seen from the preseason from last season is Scottie has been the low man a lot more than you saw last year, where he was oftentimes asked to be the lead point of attack defender and kind of put him in weird situations. As the low man, he's able to use his instincts, use his length, and it caused tons of problems and saved the Raptors tons of points in a game that really could have swung either way in the second half.
Okay, so this was a terrific game. Here we have one of our prize winners. How you doing, man?
So I'm great. What a night.
Yeah.
Like, you guys put on a great show.
Hey,
you guys
man.
make incredible content, and I'm really proud to be a subscriber now. And you guys make my day better. So.
Hey, man. Appreciate it. But you watched the game? What'd you think of the game, man?
Defense. It's fun. I got to give it to Scottie for kind of filling up the box score, even though he didn't have like the greatest scoring game. I just think he impacted the game on so many levels, and I want to see more of it.
Yeah, and Schroder, the new guy.
And Schroder, apparently he can catch and shoot threes. So
he was incredible. He went 4 of 8.
And Siakam hitting big threes in the second half. Like
that's right.
To put the game out of reach. So yeah, like maybe this team will surprise some people. I hope so.
I think a lot of people I know, a lot of the viewers were saying that they're going to beat the over-under. I think that's a given. They will do that. But as far as competing at the next level, making like a compelling case for a playoff team, I think that they'll probably have the juice to hang around there.
I agree, yeah. And a new offense with some like fresh ideas and some new principles to create advantages that'll put guys in positions to be even like more efficient and more successful in offense, combined with top 10, maybe top 5 defense.
Yep.
That's the key this year.
I mean, top 1 after tonight. You hold them to 94 points. Just while we have you, the scarf, you want to show it off? This was one of the prizes we gave away.
Prizes tonight. I'm assuming it's merino wool of something of high quality.
Yes.
And I'm going to add it to my Raptors collection memorabilia.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day scarf.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, brother. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having no right hand for the handshake. All right, everybody. So some people are saying that the stream is laggy, which is not great. But regardless, we're here to talk. We got Jamar.
Another prize winner.
Jamar, take the mic, sir. Let's go.
Sure.
What did you think of the game, first and foremost?
I like the defense. Scottie especially on the weak side. Got a lot of spectacular blocks there. A little bit of a trend so far in even in the preseason where the offense starts out a little bit slow. Gary was good. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Gary was good in preseason coming out. This game was a little bit quiet. Schroder came up big in the second half. Pascal hitting above the break threes. If he can do that, throughout the season. That's huge. Made a couple clutch ones. But yeah, we're at least for the little first bit of the season, this is going to be a defensive team, get out in transition, because that's how they kind of started this game offensively, like started to get into a rhythm where was it Precious had like 3 fast break dunks in the first quarter, so that's what kind of got everything going. But
let's stay on Precious then. So Precious, 3 lobs. He's on the positive end. He gets, like, if you want to pull up the box score, he gets on the right side of a lot of rebounds. As far as like keeping the Raptors in it in a slow start, Jakob was in an awkward space to kind of start this game. Yes, he's playing his role, but also like Gobert is huge, Cat's huge. The Raptors, their offense, they're playing slow in transition. They're also not getting anything in the half court. Precious comes in, kind of changes the complexion of the front court. What do you make about this game and how it forecasts his role going forward?
Well, like I said, he's definitely going to be big in transition.
Yep.
In terms of offensively in half court, I feel like he's still a little bit of a wild card.
Yeah.
We're going to have to figure out he's going to have to figure out a lot of that as well. I'm still hoping and praying for that 3-point shot at the second half of the 22 season to come back. Remember when, I think it was a game against Philly where he just ran from full court and pulled up for 3. If he can ever get that 3-point shot back, that opens up a lot because the Raptors have spacing issues as it is.
I think the fluidity is there. You saw in that one relocation 3 off of Gary. He was able to get his feet set. Good form.
If he can do some things cutting, that would help as well.
Yep.
I feel like there's a couple of possessions where he didn't want to shoot, especially when it was close in the paint. Because trying to finish over Gobert and Cat. That's pretty much a twin tower situation. That's pretty tough.
42 combined points from Dennis Schroder, OG Anunoby. I was wondering what was going to happen with Pascal, with Scottie, with OG. These guys who have been having awkward times trying to run offense and fit in fluidly in the preseason. OG, it turns out, just run out in transition and shoot the threes that come to you. And the Raptors, they were creating enough threes. It's just a matter of if they have the guys who are going to hit them tonight. Even though it's a low-scoring affair, they hit enough threes to get by. I think somebody said 40%. I'm not sure if that was actually what they pulled in this game. Let's see. From 3? Yeah. So they shot 40%. 44% on above the break threes.
That's insane.
This is huge news for what the Raptors are trying to do. What'd you make of OG?
Come in. From OG, he's going to be one of the most important players on the team, just simply for allowing us to have some sort of space. I see differences. They're bringing him off of more pin downs, allowing him to get more active in actions where he's rolling downhill. We didn't see as much success, but we're also playing a team where they're a type of matchup you're going to see once or twice a year, where they have 2 7-footers who are both stars in the league. So I think it bodes really well, and I like some of the chemistry that him and Scottie both have together. With him throwing the ball down low to OG, I think he's going to be able to eat a lot of points in those areas.
Were we surprised by how often the Raptors kept going to the rim despite facing a ton of size on the inside? Were you guys surprised by that at all?
No, because the shooting is still kind of hit or miss. They made some above the break threes today, but in most cases, I would still think they're bottom tier in terms of actual spacing the floor and shooting. So
they were. I mean, the half court offense was terrible.
Exactly. So it doesn't surprise me that they would try and go at Gobert. And honestly, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Gobert is what he used to be defensively in terms of rim protection.
He erased 6 layups.
But there's not a lot of Rudy Goberts, right? There's only one Rudy Gobert right now. So if they keep attacking, the way they're attacking, who else is going to guard him?
It was a big deal that Scottie got to the line early. That was a huge deal.
I'm talking more based on on a reputation base.
Sure.
He doesn't have, I don't think he brings the same fear in attacking him as he did in his defensive player of the years in Utah. So that's why I'm not totally surprised that they would go after him. And if he redirects shots, he redirects shots, but they were going to go at him regardless. That's kind of what I meant.
I was impressed the fact that they went at it, because it's not only is it very tight in there, but it's tight in the way that as you said, Precious was hesitant to go back up.
Yeah.
He blocked Siakam on 2 of those spins. The one was like definitely a goaltend, but he changed like 5 shots just on those types of like coming from the weak side, let alone just sitting in drop and changing how the Raptors try to attack, filtering the ball out to the corner for a reset. And the Raptors, to their credit, had like this indomitable will to keep getting downhill, to keep pressuring. And obviously the rim numbers, these are juiced because they were in transition. For anybody listening at home, oh my God, the Raptors, they were in transition 17.1% of the time last season. Tonight, I think it was 25% of their possessions were in transition. Getting a quarter of your possessions in transition would be like an NBA record. It probably won't happen all the time, but this level of running out is exactly why they were able to pull away and win by 3. Yes, there's late shot making by Siakam from the 3. Yes, Schroder was fantastic to finish, and Scottie pushed them throughout. But man, super, super impressive. Jamar, you won a prize tonight. Show it off. Show it off.
We got this little teddy bear here. It says it's from the Build-A-Bear.
A Build-A-Bear Raptor teddy.
Maybe this bear was a big Eric Montross fan. I can't remember any other Raptor wearing 00. I think there might have only been one. So yeah, it's got to be Eric Montross because look. Got the old school 2000 Raptors uni here, so it's a purple Raptor. A lot of fans want purple back in the scheme. They keep coming out with the OVO stuff, with the black and gold. You know, not a big fan of that. So
we won the purple.
Getting a little bit more purple in the mix.
So we have another member here, Mike.
Hello.
You won a little something tonight too.
Yes, I did. I won a very nice gray Raptors hat. Kind of that old school Bosch when Bosch was killing the game with Jose Calderon and everybody else. But I like it. I had to play spell the name of OG Anunoby, which I almost failed at, but with Samson's help I kind of aced it there, so it was pretty good.
Andrew Nembhard.
Who
was the third?
The third one was Nembhard, and who was the third one? Oh my gosh, I forgot that one.
I don't remember who it was.
I know it was Nembhard because of the Kane content, but
while we have you here, the game. Like, yeah, you're a guy wearing a Raptors hat. You got a Raptors hat. That's serendipitous, man.
Yes,
but
yes.
You watch a ton of the Raptors. What do you think of the game tonight?
It was a good game overall. I felt like I really wanted to see Pascal kind of go kind of crazy, but I always want that. I didn't want to lose just a Pascal fan. But one thing you noticed already was the ball movement. 27 assists for 36 points. It's consistent with the way this team is. And that's what, Darko wants to do. He wants the ball movement, and that's what we saw today.
I think one of the most impressive was Anthony Edwards this was late in the fourth quarter, pressing up on Schroder. Schroder does a half spin, gets downhill. At the same time, they run OG off a double drag out of the corner. Schroder filters to the dunker spot. OG comes off, one dribble, goes up to rise up, finds Schroder down at the dunker spot, layup late in the game. Great ball movement. Great player movement, and featuring none of the Raptors' stars.
Right.
Like, it didn't go through Siakam, it didn't go through Barnes, it didn't go through Pirtle. It was team movement, team basketball, and really great decision making. Like, I think that's just a great summation of how they got some of the in-between points tonight.
Exactly. Dennis Schroder had 22 points.
He killed it.
I did not remember him scoring 22 points, but he did it. Yeah, it was the threes. He went down in transition. Like, he went down the
3 layups downhill, the one off of Gobert too.
Yeah.
Like,
did he take the most shots?
No, I think Scottie did probably.
Yeah.
I think Siakam took 14 or 15. Scottie was 15 or 16.
Very even. I think Schroder had 18 shots. Pascal had 18 shots, and then yeah.
But we have a comment. Dennis taking 17 shots is a bit much. I agree. On the whole, as far as like Schroder, especially in the first half, had a lot of the basketball. And the Raptors, like in the half court, they scored 72 points per 100 possessions in the half court. For anybody who hated last year's half court offense, it was 94.9, like way better. Tonight was terrible as far as the half court. And Schroder had too much of the ball early on. But Schroder, to his credit, took the open threes that came to him. He forced it late, actually. He had that one pull-up. He missed a couple shots late. I think, objectively, a little too much Schroder. I think that does make sense. But also, you win by 3 points. You score less than 100 points. You can't turn your nose up at anybody taking shots, man. You just got to get buckets. And he was applying pressure. I love Schroder's performance. Of course, there are gonna be opportunities for him to dial it back.
Yeah,
there will be matchups that don't clog the paint with Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns that Siakam and Barnes are gonna have easier times against. So Schroder tonight, I loved it, man. I thought he had a hell of a first impression.
Yeah. It was a good change. A lot of these possessions that you saw in transition last year, we just simply weren't going to convert them. We had lack of athletes at the guard spot, and he's able to turn the corner, get downhill, and score in ways that really helped out the offense, especially when Scottie is all about pushing the pace, getting downhill. Having a guy like him, that can score in those positions is super helpful.
Okay, I know everybody wants to hear us talk about Scottie Barnes. I want to talk about Scottie Barnes.
Yep.
Trey, we've been talking about this for a long time.
Yep.
I've been talking about this since December 10th, 2021. Scottie Barnes plays the New York Knicks.
Yes.
He plays the low man. He has like a glut of blocks. He rebounds the hell out of the ball. The Raptors win like 93 to 89 or 90. He was so fantastic tonight. We were kind of expecting this because of how he did in the preseason. They played him lower in the defense. He was a real defensive playmaker, both in the pick and roll and as a help side guy. 2 steals, 5 blocks, 5. And here's the thing, too. Gambles sometimes, but healthy gambles.
Yep.
He just didn't really miss. Now, 5 blocks, typically when it goes the other way, you say, well, the Wolves, they rebounded a lot of their own misses. But there's no correlation in my mind. The Wolves were doing it on the mismatches. Scottie, low in the defense, managed to help protect the rim, help keep guys out of the paint, and help close out possessions.
Yep.
Yes, he stepped out on Ant. He made some mistakes on the perimeter. But as far as like being a low man stepping up to dissuade guys from driving lanes, as far as being a low man who's a defensive playmaker in a lane or blocking us to the rim, oh my God. Is anybody is this I've been waiting for this. This is all I've wanted.
And we saw, like you said, we saw some of this coming in the preseason, because especially the games. I think Yak missed 2 games, and Scottie did played a lot of the big role in preseason. So playing lower down and helping, especially on the weak side.
Yep.
Saw a lot of that coming.
Yep. We've been talking about it for a year. We saw games. Come on.
Whoever wants to come in. Go ahead.
We saw games where they played Dallas, for example, where he's playing Luka Doncic 35 feet out, and it's just a waste of his talents. His big keys are his length and his defensive instincts. When he's a low man, he is allowed to use those instincts to bust plays and actually spark the team in transition, where you saw today. And then his length just dissuades you from getting to the rim. He's making plays that, while Jakob's a very good positional defender, Scottie can make those splash plays that helps the team actually lower the
big thing is that Scottie, everybody should probably remember from his draft workout tape, is the Raptors were running him through that catch and go up, catch and go up, catch and go up. Really quick jumper, super good. That's the number 1 attribute for a shot blocker, because you don't have to work on timing guys up as much if you can get up quickly and you have length. He's slow turning his hips. He's not that quick sliding with guys on the perimeter. But as far as darting around and using his length on the inside, they're leaning into so much of what makes him impressive.
Yep. I'm just reading a couple of the comments, and there's a lot of questions about Boucher. And
that's good.
Okay, a quick thing on Boucher. So I suspect tonight the reason why Boucher wasn't in the game, Malachi played a healthy amount of minutes, right? The Raptors needed more shooting. They were willing to bet that Jalen McDaniels was going to provide more shooting than Boucher. And also Boucher, as far as a matchup against Gobert and Cat, if you're going to play a guy who can get bumped around by them, play a guy who might give you a little bit extra ball handling, play a guy who might give you a little bit extra shooting. So I think this was just the way that the rotation worked out tonight. He's not injured. I don't think he's out of the rotation. I think this was Darko, who's playing a team that's pretty deep, playing the guys who made sense tonight. Cody, Raptors Republic.
Hey, yeah. This
is the guy who everyone used to get used to seeing Cody, hearing his thoughts. He's with Raptors Republic this year. What do you think about the game, man?
Hey, it's the first game of the season, a bit sloppy, but Raptors got a dub. Wasn't able to really catch you guys when talking about it loud in here, but I wanted to ask you guys about Darko's big man rotation. Precious closing the game for the Raptors, Yak on the bench, Boucher getting a DNP. Any thoughts on that? It was a shock to me to see Precious.
Precious is the future, for anybody who's wondering.
He's nice. I think I enjoyed it because Precious offers a bit more athleticism. You can deny ball a lot more.
Yeah.
Even with Jakob on the floor, the Wolves were able to get a lot of offensive rebounds, and you lack the speed to really spark those transition possessions with Jakob on the floor, and then obviously with the free throw shooting.
And here's a big part too. You saw that Anthony Edwards, a big part of his offense is getting like wiggling into a spot because you're playing lock and trail defense at the point of attack around screens. Like Ant started out hot as hell in the first quarter. He was guarded by OG. But if you're getting screened off of a guy, he's going to cook anyway. Putting Precious in at the 5 to compete with them at the point of attack means if he gets that edge, you switch it. And then you can do a veer back switch to get back into the situation and help things out if you want. But it's just he provides for this matchup that type of flexibility that Jakob would have had trouble with, I think is the big thing. And he was awesome, man. He's catching lobs. He's running out. He's helping out on the glass. This was like a dream for us. We've been talking about Precious for a long time, man.
We've been talking about him rolling to the rim and being an active vertical threat for probably 2 or 3 years now. I think what was really interesting in the half court, they were using him at the high post a lot in a similar role that like Jakob. Although the Raptors don't have the same type of shooting where you can run a split action and utilize his athleticism in dribble handoffs, I do like the fact that he's getting the opportunity to make decisions. Because if he sees a big that he can go against, which most bigs he probably can, Rudy Gobert's an anomaly. But
this is a big thing. It's like having these preset decisions, right? Is that you can see Precious last year, if he gets the ball on the 18 feet from the basket, he might dribble it out and try and do something. You can see tonight, clearly, it's if the ball's in Jakob's hands, if the ball's in Precious's hands, maybe even Jalen McDaniels, Scottie, Pascal, whoever's in the corner, you lift. We're initiating a dribble handoff. If it's Chicago or if it's Miami action, who cares? You're coming out of the corner. We're trying to get middle, and we're going to keep shifting the floor, trying to get Rudy and Kat moving in the middle of the defense. Maybe a slip opens up. Some of the decisions that he was having trouble identifying have become easier for him. He has a more linear path to making positive plays. And obviously, he still has like that little bit of star pop. He's able to do special things on the floor. Like Trey mentioned it earlier, it was like relocating after the roll. He noticed they packed the paint, so he backpedals to the corner, and he was open for 3. It didn't drop in, but the footwork was great. The timing was great. There's just a lot of positive things for Precious tonight. I thought he was tremendous.
Yep. So do you guys read into anything with the Chris Boucher DNP? I mean, it's just chalking up to early season rotation, figuring out like McDaniels was in there quite a bit tonight. What do you guys make of that?
Yeah.
I think,
a lot of it I think has to do with matchups.
Yeah.
That Boucher against Kat and Gobert is really tough. And obviously with the Raptors, it's like having no source of shooting. You need to have a guy like McDaniels, guys like Malachi that can offer some sort of spacing.
Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to the games where Chris Boucher is going to be a game changer because there's going to be some of them. Like Jalen McDaniels is in this game because the Raptors want a little bit more pop at the point of attack. I think he struggled at the point of attack, quite frankly, but that's what they want. And as far as like having a bit more shooting on the floor, they obviously felt better about Jalen as opposed to Chris. But there's going to be games where Chris is going to have like 14 and 10 off the bench. Like you can bet on it now. He'll have his time.
Since we're talking about rotation players, I'm trying to figure out how or when or if Otto Porter Jr. gets into rotation, how that role is going to pan out.
Otto is a tough one. Yeah. I don't know if there's practice tomorrow. They haven't announced anything yet. I don't have the Raptors PO. Oh, wait. So the Raptors practice tomorrow. I will likely ask about Otto, or somebody will, and then we'll get quite a bit of info, I'm sure. But I think it's probably just mostly to do with conditioning. Like he has to get back into the swing of things, and he didn't play for a long time. He had a lot of time off, and he had complications with his toe. He's just getting back into it, so I think that's mostly it. The blonde boy. He missed the little jelly layup. Yep. We got like 2.5 minutes of Grady Dick. Does anybody have a Grady Dick take?
I do, actually.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the games. I mean, tonight's game.
Sure.
I was looking on Twitter, and MLSE the security was throwing out all the Grady signs. basically.
Well, they weren't throwing out the Grady signs. They were throwing out the Dick signs.
Yeah, okay, my bad. Yeah, they're throwing out the dick signs, and a lot of them that I saw that were thrown out were pretty regular. So, hello, can you let fans actually cheer for their rookie? Like, come on, like, ease up.
If you're gonna take away their sign, you better have like an 8-foot large Grady face to give them to hold up.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna take something away, you have to give them a substitute. That's my MLSE thing. And for the live podcast. So anyway,
Hey, we're back.
And we're back. All right.
I do have a Grady thought.
Yeah, let's go.
He only played 2 to 3 minutes, but one thing I noticed in the preseason, we've all said it, he's more than a shooter. Like even tonight, making back cuts, like
great baseline cut.
He had a
strong side baseline
yes.
cut. Really good.
Yeah. I think he also got an assist on the board in the 2 minutes. So he does a whole bunch of little things that I don't think a lot of people see. And when that shot's hitting, like he eventually could be an actual rotation player for the Raptors this year.
I'm really looking forward to when Grady gets all the reps necessary, gets the conditioning, slowly puts on like a bit more weight up top. You know, fleet of foot, I don't know if that's something he's adding, but he reads the game at such a high level. He can shoot it at such a high level. Once he's ready to like night in and night out, I think he's going to be such a strong player, like well worth a lottery pick. I thought the Raptors, they got really lucky that he fell to them. I thought he was much better than 13th overall. So I'm looking forward to that in the future. For now, it's a deep team. Chris Boucher is a good bench player. He didn't even get minutes. Yeah. They were able to juggle guys. They were able to make it happen. People are definitely thinking about Malachi. Let's talk about Malachi Flynn. He hit the big three. He had some progressive downhill reads, but also there are some plays that didn't go so well. Does anybody have any Malachi thoughts? Hell yeah. Come on, Mike. Bring us home, Mike.
Here's the thing with Malachi. I need fans to be patient. Be patient. Because we got to think about last year with Nick Nurse. I don't think the confidence was there with Malachi. I think with Darko, he's providing him a little bit more confidence. He's going to make some bad plays. We saw some today. But you know what? He attacked the ball a lot more than we've seen him do before. We all see he can shoot the three well. I think just give him some time, and I think he can do something for us. Hey, we need the backup minutes, especially with Dennis Schroder. I kind of think him and Dennis play a little bit the same. So I think having that same consistent point guard is going to be helpful.
That's if anybody has any, I know some like the Malachi stuff can be pretty polarizing. Like when people talk about Malachi, they're like, "He stinks," you know, or they're like, "Hey, come on, one more year, let's see if he has it." Before we move on, I kind of want to talk about defense, and not just Scottie, but team-wide defense. Before we do that, any Malachi thoughts?
I think that this Darko system could play into his hand. I saw a couple of times he's catching the ball and immediately with the 0.5 offense, he's attacking. There was a couple of times where he was drawing in multiple defenders, and he was able to make a couple nice kicks. But then you see the bad with Malachi Flynn as well, where he dribbles into traffic and it's stolen, or he makes the bad pass. But I think he's shown flashes. And you know what? Hey, it's the first game of the season. Patience. I'm a Malachi believer. I think he can possibly do something this year.
Fingers are crossed. The Raptors need some punch from the guards on the roster. Any Malachi thoughts?
No, because I'm just reading comments again, and I know some people are saying patience. It's been like 2 to 3 years and stuff like that. I'm just giving him a clean. I would beg to give Malachi a clean slate under a new coach, under a new system. Obviously, like Mike just said, playing under Nick Nurse with a shortened rotation, a lot of guys' confidence was shot. I think Boucher a little bit adds to that as well, but I just think you have to give him a clean slate and a new system. That's all I'm saying. He
makes $4 million. He's the first-round draft pick. They made this decision last year.
Yeah.
They everyone was like, "Oh, Scottie got his contract guaranteed today for next year." Like that, they made this decision a long time ago.
Yeah.
Malachi, we've seen the shooting upside. He's got 5 to 7 extra pounds of muscle, reportedly, to kind of help him. The tight defensive, getting around screens, you got to have weight. It might help. He's going to have a shot. And if it doesn't work out, then they go somewhere else. I want to talk about the defense. I think this is now, I see some people We have a comment. This is how you use 6'9" guys on defense. I think that's correct. So what happens? This is also, he's now the NBA scout, team scout for the Grizzlies. His name is Hank Ward. He's a dear, dear friend of mine. He was obsessed with the Raptors when they first drafted Scottie because he loved the idea of a bunch of lengthy guys shrinking the floor defensively. And the Raptors tonight, a lot of the points they allowed, offensive rebounds and post entries on a mismatch that they just so happen. But as far as like crowding driving lanes without giving up the strong side corner, making the spray to the weak side corner, the arc has to go high because you have to clear all these trees in the middle. And the compete level for guys who are pretty big, like Pascal spent a decent amount of time on the perimeter, dancing around screens, catching up. Dennis, he fell asleep on like 3 plays, but his point of attack stuff was brilliant, like skirting around screens, getting up ahead of them, or getting his arm in. Like the team defense was really fantastic, and they just did such a good job of letting their length multiply and compound. Any other thoughts on the defense after like 94 points is insane.
It's a lot of what we were looking for. The last couple of years, it seems as though like the Raptors were playing into like several star players' strengths. They're able to understand there's weak side trap coming their way. We're gonna be able to hit our weak side role player, and that's gonna lead to a scramble. The greatest strength the Raptors have is their length and their ability to cause chaos. And now they're funneling everything towards their elite defensive big into Scottie, who can create havoc and create blocks and steals. I think it's going to be a lot tougher for defenses to create multiple rotations out of the team, just simply because they can stay home because they have the length to recover when they're getting beat on screens, and also know that they have a big in Jakob, Precious, Scottie that can erase a lot of the mistakes that they make.
So for anybody who wants the numbers, let's just run through them quick. The Wolves shot 59% at the rim. That is well below average. They shot 25.7% in the short mid-range, well below average. 36% in the long mid-range, fine. You have Anthony Edwards, that's average, but that's fine. From the whole mid-range, 28%, piece of cake. From the corner, they shot 12%. From above the break, they shot 30%. All threes, 26%. They held this team to such a poor shooting night, and they did a really good job of keeping the rim inaccessible. Like short mid-range, 35% of Minnesota's shots came from the short mid-range. We've seen a team that shoots a lot of short mid-range shots last year, the year before. You don't want that. That's not the shot chart you want. Long mid-range, they took a ton. Like just using that length to funnel guys, keeping the length, stepping up to make sure that they don't get all the way. It might look a little different, and the team is built a little different, but as far as like the types of shots you want to take away, the types of shots you want to incentivize, this is modern NBA basketball. This is elite modern defense. This was fantastic.
So no more open corner threes?
This was something that the Raptors did better at the end of last year. Once they got Jakob, they could stay home, but it was what I talked to Darko about on media day. Hey, the defense, man, what's going on? He's like, no more corner threes. We're over that. No more paint touches. We're over that. That's great. We have a donation. I'm not much of a live streamer. This doesn't happen often. From Ali Dez, gave a donation. Great stream, guys. I'm new. Look forward to more. My brother, we're here. We're going to be here a lot. Thank you so much for hopping on. Guys, does anybody have any hot takes after this game? This is what I want to know about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a hot take necessarily, but I think as we were watching the game, I think we all wanted to see Pascal just handle the ball a little bit more. So I think if anything, I want to see some plays finish with Pascal more. That's what I said. It's not really a hot take, but kind of what I want to see more. And like we all said, we all agree, give Malachi some time.
Okay, believe in Malachi.
Okay, I don't think we've touched on Gary yet, since I sat down.
Go ahead.
Big hair up here. Keep going.
Go ahead.
Big thank you to Cody. Stay tuned for more of his work with Raptors Republic this season. Thank you, Cody.
So about Gary, this is not new. And obviously Gary's a guy comes off the bench, instant offense, get buckets, plays the floor, get some threes. You know, you saw some improved playmaking in the preseason as well.
Yeah.
But about the playmaking, I just want him to look up in fast break situations. there is two off the top of my head, 2 instances, one in each half, where it was an easy pass up court that we could have got a fast break layup, and the transition offense was great as is. But it's just like when Gary has the ball handling in transition, you don't know if he's going to make that pass.
Yeah.
And it might just screw up the whole fast break. And this is year 3, I think, of seeing that.
With the Raptors, yeah.
So it's just like at some point, I wanted tunnel vision to like get a little bit wider when it comes to handling
I
the
do wanna
transition.
say,
That's
sorry.
just the one thing I want to bring
I
up.
will say that since last season till now, the Gary Trent of last year with Darko has done something where he is willing to pass the ball way more frequently.
Yeah, and I've noticed
And
that.
He gets off it
that's
quicker.
like exactly the point. Like last year, I would have put my left flank on the table to ask that man to pass the ball, and he has somehow this preseason shown his ability to be willing to let it go, even if he had the shot. And so, like, that has been the biggest surprise of Darko on this team for me, was Gary's willingness to pass the ball.
I've even seen in the preseason games, he was even running some pick and roll,
Yeah.
which is something I wasn't really expecting.
Like the empty side
Last night-
passes were great.
Yeah.
Last night, Devin Booker on the last play on that like little push off to Nurkic.
He beat the tag, man. Great pass.
If Gary can get to that level of read,
Oh, I don't
we
know.
are ready to go. Forget the shooting, just the passing part.
Yeah.
Like it's the reading ability off the move. Nick didn't empower him enough, in my opinion. I think Darko's going to do that, and like I'm pretty sure we've all heard that Darko has talked way more, or Gary has talked way more to Darko than he ever did Nick.
Yep.
That alone makes me hopeful that like Gary is going to grow.
A big thing is that this was something I looked at in Gary's second, like the first season and a half, because he came in 2021. His best stretch of playmaking was like around 4 assists per game for 2 weeks, and most of the reads came in dribble handoff situations, a lot of empty side where he draws the step up from the big. He can make that little check down pass to his roller. And in the Darko offense, that's supposed to, he has, of course, so much gravity. Like he went 2 of 8 tonight. He didn't shoot the ball well, but he had 2 assists and he kept the ball moving. Gary, the big thing is like, you're always going to see some ebbs and flows with the shooting. It's about the in-between. Cam, we have you here tonight. Talk some hoops. Here we are. Big takeaways from the Raptors game.
Here we are. Well, what I'm taking away is this beautiful lunchbox. You can see it on the stream. Chris Bosch, CB4, the Raptor. This must be from 2007?
It's an old school, yeah.
It's an old school metal lunchbox. It's beautiful. I feel like I'm 6 years old again, hopping in puddles, dribbling my giant basketball that's too big for me, dunking on the Fisher-Price hoop.
That's right.
But in terms of the game, what I really noticed, of course, the blocks from Scottie.
Yeah.
Everyone can talk about the nature of the way he got those blocks. Reminds me of some of the more successful stretches of not last year, but the year before.
That's right.
When it was full vision 6'9" type of lineups, and you had almost the one guy halts the defender before he can get to his spot in the paint.
Democratic rim protection.
Exactly. The offensive player is forced to pull up, take a shot a little further out than he'd like, and meanwhile behind, the help defense comes to get the ball while it's in the air, almost a volleyball style spike.
Yep.
While the offensive player is obstructed by the length of whoever the other forward is usually. Scottie was getting so many of those.
When I was in high school, we played a 1-3-1 defense, and the middle of the three, we had a 6'7" guy. I played the bottom, which means I'm running from corner to corner, and we used that.
Totally.
I was not a big guard, but I got a bunch of blocks because his name was Cody. He'd stand there 6'7", guys would try to get around him, and I'd come out of the corner like, bah! And that's Scottie, man. Well, Scottie is just better at basketball than me and larger, and surely everyone gets this comparison. Holy moly, I'm sweating like crazy.
Yeah.
It's a heater tonight.
It's a
We're
sauna
1-0.
in here.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
You had your predictions up for Scottie's stat line.
Yes.
What were your stocks?
1 block,
Yeah.
1.2 steals.
I think that's too low.
Well, it's a really rare statistical accomplishment.
It really is. But if you saw what he did tonight and you've seen what he's been capable of in the past,
Yes.
he is a unique player
Yes.
when it comes to being a defensive pest.
It's possible I went too low because I was like, going from 0.8 to 1 block, that's the jump he'd have to make. It seems small, but it's like 20 blocks over the. It's a lot. So I was like, I don't know if he gets to like 100 blocks on the season, but if he's getting 5 a game, I mean, he'll probably be there in no time.
Game 1, 5 blocks, 2 steals. 7. I was gonna put like a 3.5 on the stock, in my opinion.
3.5 would be insane.
That's
Like
defensive player of the year territory.
Simmons,
laughed at.
Ben Simmons, like best season is like 1 point or like 2.5 stocks, like 2.7. 3.5 is like DPOY.
Scottie Barnes is a better Ben Simmons.
Yeah, of course. Hey, brother. Certainly, Ben Simmons got nothing on Scottie, but I'll say this much: there are gonna be some games where the 17 he scored tonight, that's gonna be tame. Maybe it's 1 block, maybe it's 0. It's gonna like shape into something. But tonight, like we spent a good deal talking about it before you guys hopped on. His defense playing lower in the Raptors scheme is a godsend. Just because everyone wants like the 1 through 5 defender, just because the Raptors talk about switching everything, shut up. Play these guys where they're meant to be played. Lean into these guys' advantages. Scottie is playing with a huge advantage, making decisions as a low man. I love him there. He's just done a fantastic job. Yeah, he and Precious, they bossed the front court, man. Like Siakam was the guy stepping out on the perimeter more often of those guys, but I think just their front court, Jakob, Precious, Pascal, Scottie, they really came together for a very impressive performance against Gobert. We did talk Boucher, yeah. Somebody we didn't really talk about, and I want OG. We talked a little bit about him offensively, but as far as defense, the holistic, however you want to take it, OG.
I've been an OG fan since Indiana. So the fact he fell in that draft, I was crying on draft day. Yeah, right? OG, I really do hope he can fill in that like 2 A or B role on a given night. Whether he does it regularly, I'm worried about. Defensively, I think he is first team all defense without question. And on a given night, if he is not even going to make his 3-point shots, the fact that he will actually shoot them is more important to me than him making the shots. His defense alone is a plus. He can score 0 points. I could be happy. Any points he adds, I think will be phenomenal. But he is a 15-point career average player. So I don't see him really being worse than that. But tonight, I don't think he really did anything spectacular.
It's the same thing that happened last opening. Like he had 20 points, 5 assists against the Cavs, and it was just like the Raptors played a really strong game. When they play strong, they give OG chances to run out. When they create 3-point looks and cutting opportunities, like OG can cut and fill his way to 24 points any given night. Sometimes that's not that available. In the preseason, the ball wasn't finding him that much. It was 8 points here, 6 points there. But it's just what the game affords him. He's not going to take the possessions and give you a bunch.
He's not a ball hog, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't hold it. And so the 0.5 offense that we've been espousing with Darko, I think is really going to show OG's value as a team player, right? He's been a team player from day one. There you go. Raptors ring right there.
Another
championship ring.
Tell him what you want.
What I win?
Yeah.
I won the Raptors fucking championship ring. Best fucking prize of the night.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And shout out to the Raptors Republic team, man. Best analysis in the fucking league.
Samson.
That's right.
That is a
That's what we do.
Watches every fucking video of Scottie Barnes.
Hey.
Who does that?
A madman. A madman watches that.
A madman like Samson here.
A madman wants all his boys.
Wait. Before you go, do you have a hot take for us?
We need your
We
thoughts
need
on
a-
For us?
Yeah. Oh, double mic.
Keep the analytics. Raise the pizzazz. Fucking Raptors Republic. Jazz. That's gonna make any sense.
Sure.
Alrighty.
Sure. I think we're probably getting to near the end of this. Does anybody else have any hot takes they want to get off? Something you've been like, if I get on the platform, I'm going to cook. Is there a moment? Is this the moment?
I don't know if it's the hottest take in the world, but I think whenever you win opening night, it's hard not to be
The legend Jonathan Chen
over
is here.
optimistic, right? But when you see the theory of Dennis Schroder working out, where he's zipping past his defender for an easy bucket, where he's hitting his threes, where you see the theory of OG Anunoby working out, where he's drilling his threes, he's locking guys down, the theory of Scottie Barnes getting the blocks, playing the defense, distributing as well. Pascal, we didn't see as much, but we know he can do it. We're at that stage where, you can still, the optimism gets beaten out of you eventually, at least with some players. But I think what we saw tonight, that optimism is there. What we saw specifically, and here's the hot take, from Scottie and from Precious, we are maybe going to be able to bring back in a kernel of the success that we saw the year before last, where that theory of actually having those interchangeable guys on both ends can do something.
So for anybody listening, Cam has held true even in the most difficult times. I've had conversations with this. He has held true to Vision 6-9. If this comes to fruition, the returns, this is like the stock shorting. This is the housing market in 2008. This is Mark Baum. That's what he's waiting for. Yeah, it would be really fun if it came back around. I don't know if it does, but as you say, the Colonels, they're really working out well. We have with us Canada Basketball's best writer, best analyst, Jonathan Chen with Raptors Republic. Jonathan, big takeaways from the Raptors game.
I think obviously Scottie Barnes' defensive performance.
Yeah.
I think as a big more than kind of at the point of attack. I think that was like, what was it, five blocks? And I think Pascal, his above the break threes. Yeah, I think he hit three tonight.
Three of
right?
them.
Yeah.
And he had two circle the drain and pop out.
Yeah, I don't know. If that keeps going throughout the year, then like maybe all of a sudden the spacing is okay. Maybe. But
I think it's more likely that they just have to take those shots, and if they hit them, they hit them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to shoot it, man. The ball comes to you. It's got the energy. You got to put it up.
I will say, Malachi Flynn tonight, I really wish the best for him for now 4 years counting.
This isn't going to be good, ladies and gentlemen.
No. I listen. I'm an optimist of a man. So there were a few points where I don't know what that guy needs to do to learn to just take the shot. He is already a small guard, and given his height, there's very few opportunities when you have open looks.
Yep.
The few times when he had them tonight, he refused to really pull the trigger. And it's just hesitation and, like, I don't know. Like, the guy in Summer League, in Pro-Ams, puts up 70 points. Like, it's confidence.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't want to truly believe the whole selfishness Nick Nurse really screwed him over. But I really wonder, what does he need to do? He's on the court now. Like, he played way more minutes tonight than I anticipated him to play.
Yeah. I just think the shooting just hasn't translated to where it needed to be. Like, a big thing with him in college is that he shot similar to a Fred, for example, at such a high clip where teams were far more aggressive on him, and he isn't the necessary athlete to like get deep paint touches and utilize a rolling big. Mind you, the Raptors haven't had a great rolling big with him the whole time, but when he got a few paint touches over Rudy Gobert and didn't have the athleticism to finish over.
The big thing too is that, like, you have to, if you're going to shoot 35%, which he shot last season, like Malachi's on a roster and one of the only rosters in the league where his shooting is seen as surplus value.
Yep.
If you're going to be on this team, you're going to get minutes. The 1-3 he made tonight, he was like 4 feet off the line, stepping into it. That's why I shot it, because there wasn't a guy pressing up. It was just like, I'm comfortable to let it go. Jerome Chang, this guy is the king. This guy, for anybody who likes a lot of no dunk stuff, like J.E. Skeets and Tas Melis, he does a lot of their work, a lot of the production, for anybody wondering. But here's the big thing. Holy smokes, it's Ferran and Keeks. Oh, wow. So anyway, what we're saying is, like, Malachi, if you're not going to shoot like 42%, you need to have immense volume to make it work. So Malachi, I feel like we can bury that conversation, but
I will ask you guys, don't bury him for the season.
Hey, we're not burying anybody.
Plenty of run.
Yeah.
I just hope we as a fan base don't turn vicious on it. Right? Listen, last year the whole fan base turned on Fred for God knows what reason. I don't care.
They certainly did.
The man deserves some hate, but not as much. Malachi hasn't really done anything other than just be hesitant. Like, we need to support our fans, our team. As fans, we should be like behind every guy. 18th man, two-way contracts. Right, Samson?
That's right.
Positivity, liberty to the one.
That's right.
What is the one above average skill that Malachi has? The
Being a
one
redhead.
above average skill.
What?
Being a redhead.
Man.
Okay. We have Jerome here.
Matt Bonner would like a word about that one.
Any hot takes after game one? Yeah, we'll give it.
Hot takes.
Yeah. You cook something up for us?
This is not the season to make a hot take for the Raptors. I'll be perfectly honest. Like, this is the season to be like lukewarm and happy about the situation.
Yes.
No.
Not,
Just,
a 94-97 game,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
vibes.
If you want Scottie scoring 20 and you're super upset about it, you can't enjoy 5 blocks. You know, you got to take it. You got to be on the beach of life, letting the waves wash over you.
Yep.
Okay, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna get to eat. We're gonna sweat out the last couple minutes of the game, and sometimes we'll pull up fun.
Wait. This sounds like lukewarm. Do you have a wins prediction?
Wins prediction for all you guys.
The over-under before the season was 36.5. Over, yes.
Sir.
I tweeted it out after the game. 1-0 on our way to 82-0.
Exactly.
It says 82-0.
44.
44.
That's pretty optimistic.
That's a playoff.
Yeah, that's a
That-
playoff.
that's
If we lost
43, I would say.
okay. 43.
I've said 47.
47.
That's optimistic.
John.
40.
I think I'll go like low 40, like maybe 40 or 41.
40 or 41. Okay, but that's money. That's hitting the over. Okay.
That's a play.
Okay.
That's a play in appearance.
Yeah.
We're only 43 to 1.
I'm gonna go get that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna end it. I'm gonna leave just now, but I want to end it. I told John that I won this. Yeah, I won. But I just want to end it by saying, make sure you follow Those Guys Sports. That's my YouTube channel. I've had Samson on. I've had Blake Murphy on. I also had Sean Woodley. So just make sure you follow me at Those Guys Sports. I have to shout my. I'm gonna have you on. Don't see. I'm gonna message you on what DM you. I have all the guys on. Raptors 82-0. Let's go.
Nice. Thank you for coming, brother.
Look.
Yes.
I feel like 82 doesn't sound insurmountable because there's only
only 81 more.
Hey, there's 81 to go, and we're 1-0.
Yes. We have one of my celebrity friends, Esfandiar Barahaney, in the building.
Biggest man in the city.
The most. Why can't you guys both be famous?
We're gonna let Spider-Man.
Hello. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Give me your biggest takeaway from the game.
Biggest takeaway is this is the way the Raptors want to win. Defense turning into offense, transition buckets, absolutely destroying it in transition. I think most of it is like just being able to hang your hat on your defense.
Yep.
Limiting a team to 94 points today. I think Minnesota's a really good team.
Yep.
They had to go through their like quirks
Yep.
and like figure things out, but ultimately, when you limit a team like that to 94 points, you're able to score in transition like they did at will. That's the way the Raptors are going to try to win games this year. The half court is going to look like that for a lot of times. But ultimately, if you're winning like that, you're winning like that. The big thing is, and I wonder how you feel about them shooting 40% from 3 today. I don't know if that's going to happen often.
But you got to think it balances itself out. How often is the Raptors going to be 69 points per
Over
100
40
possessions?
from 3 and still less than 100 points.
Yeah. I think the half-court offense increases a bit. The shooting goes down a little bit. It evens itself out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I can see that.
There's no way we're the 1% half-court offense the rest of the way.
I mean, look, it was, 75 points
69.
per 100 Yeah, 69 points per 100 possessions. It's just, like you said during the game, you're like, when they were trying to create advantages, they weren't even creating advantages.
Yeah. You need shooting. You can't reinvent basketball. Like you can, like Precious getting the ball. The big is still staying in the paint. Even if you're trying to create a split action, doing it with a Scottie Barnes, Pascal Siakam split action isn't actually moving the
even
defense.
in the fourth, when we saw like the game starts to slow down, right? They're looking for Schroder to be that guy to initiate because they know pick and roll basketball is going to create some kind of advantage. Whether it's for Schroder, like he had that floater mid. I think it was like late in the fourth. It didn't go down, but like you're gonna have to rely on that type of stuff in the half court to get something going. That stuff later, man. Have a good one. How's this been? How are you guys feeling about this? How was the game?
It was good.
Yeah. How was the crowd?
The crowd was good. I mean, it's a home open crowd.
Yeah.
So you're guaranteed to at least like start good vibes. Like,
Right. Yeah.
A lot of hype.
Yeah.
A lot of hype.
Yeah. But I think like legitimately, this is a season that you come in with like actual good vibes.
Yep.
Not just like, hey, it's
Yeah.
So I think like generally speaking, it was a good crowd.
Was it loud? We couldn't really hear it in here, but what was like the crowd loud? Yeah. Yeah.
I think like pretty standard.
Right.
No fireworks.
They didn't do the pregame fireworks. They didn't
do it. Oh, gotcha.
Right. Yeah. This is fun. I hope everybody's having fun here. This is cool.
A lot of people here. Okay.
Yeah, no, main takeaway I was just saying is like defense to offense. This is how they want to win. Like, yeah. And like Pascal shot what, 5 of 17, something like that, right?
Yeah, if Scottie didn't shoot from the field well either.
You're not gonna. Yeah, exactly.
Didn't really miss it.
Yep.
His shot selection, I thought, was like actually what we needed in the offense. Like again, we shot 40% plus from 3.
Right.
We need all them shots just to make our offense functional. And we still didn't score over 100 points. So I am kind of concerned given the frequency of teams scoring 120, 130. Our defense is going to hold them down.
Yep.
They want to make sure teams score less than 110 points a game, less than 105
That's the formula.
or something.
And the big thing with Pascal is that he got a couple of those attempts blocked by Rudy. The one was definitely a goaltend, and he took his attempts in transition. He took 2 mid-range jumpers, neither went in, but the Wolves game, having Gobert and Cat there, having a bunch of length, guys like Kyle Anderson to throw length his way, he didn't force the issue. Like you said, he took the shots he was supposed to. Sometimes the defensive game plan is going to dictate that a guy like Siakam is shooting more threes. Even Scottie took quite a few threes tonight, right? Like, you can't keep trying to force it over Rudy Gobert. He didn't. He took his attempts at the rim in transition mostly. He tried to find it with space, and then he made it count above the break on threes, which is exactly where they needed him to hit them. So
I'm just going to ask you about that because they took a lot of above the break threes, and they did a lot of that in the preseason too. Do you think that's a recipe that they can replicate continuously? Because above the break is somewhere that they struggled last season too. Yeah.
They were the 3rd worst above the break 3-point shooting team last season. Having a guy like Pascal, if he can shoot above the break threes, the ramifications are way more than just like a couple shots late in this game. It's drawing closeouts, making progressive reads, more straight line drives. And as far as like, are they going to shoot as well from above the break every night as they did tonight? Absolutely not. Is Pascal? Absolutely not. But this was a game against the Wolves with Gobert there and with Cat there. We talked about it on Pull Up Trey. It's like you look at the schedule, you see like Philly, you see Minnesota, you see the Bulls. These are teams that just like pack the hell out of the paint and force you outside. He took the advice. Like, he tried to make it work. It wasn't happening. And he had a bad shooting game, 5 of 17, but he had 3 triples. He was like 3 of 6 or 3 of 7?
I think it bodes well that they probably play one of the biggest teams they'll play the entire season and did not get bullied.
In his post game presser, Darko said that was the biggest team we'll probably face all year. So like, they know that this matchup was a little bit more unique than what they might face regularly. But I don't know, man. I agree that the half-court offense is obviously going to be a question mark going forward. But if you can bank on defense turning into offense that can generate that many transition looks for you, and then you capitalize on the transition stuff,
better transition
you
team.
can get to a spot where it's manageable. Raptors last year were what, 12th, 13th in offense? Yeah, 12th in offense. And that was despite them being the second
Worst in half court, yeah.
offense in the league. I don't know.
There was a play where I think Scottie got the block from behind, then on the fast break, the touch pass to OG on the dunk. That whole sequence of like 3 seconds surmises the length and the advantage our length has on the wings, right? The passing ability from the wing, the speed those guys have to run is incredible.
Wait, hold up. S?
Defensively, like you said, like I said, defensively, our bread is going to be buttered on defense. If we can hold teams defensively sound, their worst nights of the week.
Yep.
Right? If we can be the worst team they face all week long, we will succeed this year, in my opinion.
You gotta ask them to be the best offense.
I just want to.
Yeah.
This is nothing Raptors related.
Hot take: OG Defensive Player of the Year.
Hey,
I liked it.
Hey,
That's not terrible.
Hey.
That's not terrible. That's not.
That's not terrible. We mentioned it.
Hold them accountable. This is not a Raptors take as much. It's just like a Raptors Republic moment take. Has anyone pointed out that this just looks like no one can see it obviously on the stream, that this just looks like a wedding photo booth right now with like the ring light and everything?
Hey! Yeah. Yeah, but that's great. Does anybody, before we wrap this up, have anything they want to say? Anything? Anyone? Yeah.
It's a question to S because he's the leader of the Nickeil Alexander-Walker bandwagon.
Ooh.
Look, as a Canada basketball fan, I just want to know what were your thoughts tonight?
He had a great summer.
He did have a great summer. Hoop Goose actually messaged me privately, and he said Nickeil Alexander-Walker minus 17.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's tough being on the bandwagon right now.
It makes you feel any better. Skeets over on No Dunks bangs the you gotta invest in the not stop. So you're not alone. You're not alone.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone on
Yeah,
the bandwagon. Ultimately, I still believe. I'm still rocking with it. Hey, he started today, right? Got to get into it. He missed a lot of wide open corner threes. If he can hit those, he'll look a lot better.
If somehow we shift to an international 3 this season, you're living, my guy.
I mean, he did become a gunner for Canada in FIBA, and I think he still flashed. He had that one nice baseline pass, I think. So he's always had that little more juice there. And also more Canada basketball. I guess Chris Boucher didn't really play today.
Also, I know it's crazy to ask, but I was really hoping Leonard Miller would get some kind of run, but no.
I was hoping there was going to be a blowout some way so that Leonard Miller could play.
No.
Because he's going to be, I think he's going to be a big part of the program in the future.
Team Canada, let's go.
All right. To everybody listening, thank you for tuning in. If you ever want to be part of one of these, Raptors Republic, a big part of this website. Yes, William Lewis here. He is the biggest voice in Canada basketball as far as radio coverage, TV coverage. Yes, Blake Murphy was part of it. Yeah. That's right. That's right. A lot of the people, Eric Kareen has written for Raptors Republic. Katie Heinel is from Raptors Republic. Esfandiar, before he went to Steve Dangle Podcast Network, and The Score, Raptors Republic. So many people got their start here. This is a community-based website. This is why we host events like this, so people can come chop it up, and so that we can help support writers of all different backgrounds in the industry, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. That's why we have the paywall, so we keep the website alive and keep people paid so they don't have to do unpaid internships, so that people can actually pay for what they do and what they work in an industry that won't pay them. This is why we do it. This is why we host things like this. Keep your eye out for the next one of these. Listeners, I hope you enjoyed your walk or your late night listen, whatever it is. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Trey. Thank you to Jumbie Lime, Jerome Chang. Thank you to Jonathan. Thank you to Esfandiar. Thank you to Cody. Oh my God, there's so many people who hopped on the podcast. Thank you to everybody for hopping in. That's about it. Raptors win 1-0 on our way to 82-0.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Let's have a good night. That's it. We got a podcast.
Let's do it.